Samsung has released their S24 series a few months back, and in this video I'm be explaining and telling you what are the changes made by Samsung. I'm telling you what are my thoughts on the S24 series. Let's start. First, we have got the Samsung Galaxy S24. First of all, the major change made by Samsung this year in the compact series is Samsung has now brought in the Exynos 2400 instead of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, which should have been in the S24. Other major changes are you have got a 6.2 inch display instead of a 6.1 inch display, 4000 mAh of battery with 25 watt of fast charger, which was earlier 3900 mAh of battery. Now the base variant is the 256GB variant. The bezels are a bit thinner, and also the frame in the S24 is now matte instead of glossy in the S23. Honestly, it's very comfortable to hold because in the S23 the edges were very sharp and it just cuts through our hands, but in the S24 it's very comfortable. Straight to the point. Last year I considered the S23 over the S22 because it offered vapor cooling chamber for the first time in a compact device, but in the S24 there are no major changes made by Samsung, so I would not recommend anybody buying the S24. But if you get very good offers on the S24, you can surely continue with it. I'm pretty sure that the S23 will be available under 50,000 in the sale time, so if you want a very good Samsung device, the S23 is a very good device, by the way. Now let's talk about the big boy in the house, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus. The Plus variant for the last few years were a hit or a miss for Samsung, but this year the S24 Plus feels very premium actually. Last year the S23 Plus had huge bezels, but this time it's very minimal, so that giving a premium feel for you. It is also comfortable to hold actually. This phone also has the Exynos 2400 inside this, and now the battery is 4900 mAh with 45 watt of fast charging and 15 watt of wireless charging. Now the base variant starts from 12GB, so that's good, by the way. Now the display resolution has went up from Full HD Plus to Quad HD Plus, which is like 2.5K resolution. The cameras are really good in this phone. The battery also seems good in this phone. Overall, this phone is a very good package. Now the phone starts from 1 lakh rupees. At the same cost you get the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5, and also the iPhone 15 Plus is also available for around 80,000 rupees. And what I would suggest is, if you are a gamer, you can go for the S24 Plus because you have got a 120Hz of refresh rate display and the battery life is pretty good. But in the iPhone 15 Plus you have got a 60Hz display, but the battery life is pretty incredible. The main reason why this phone doesn't sell out pretty much well is because you don't get very good discounts on this mobile. Samsung is working on that, and this phone is a really good phone actually. If Samsung is working on the discounts of this mobile, they may have a chance to sell this phone more than the S24. Now let's talk about the guy who has got flat over the days. So this is the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, and the major changes made by Samsung this year is not the design, but the display is now flat instead of curved. I personally prefer curved displays. They are more premium but very tough to maintain. And also the frame is now titanium, inspired by the iPhone 15 Pro series. Under the hood you have got the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy. You had a 10MP 10x telephoto camera on the S23 Ultra. Now it's a 50MP 5x telephoto camera. Let me just make it simple with some of my illustrations. Okay, we'll just imagine this as a 10MP 10x telephoto camera and this as a 50MP 5x telephoto camera. So for example, if I just draw a rectangle around this, see, there are very less dots in this rectangle. So for the same case, if I draw a rectangle in this sensor, more dots are captured. So the basic ideology is, moreover you get the same results if you compare with both the mobiles. And the 5x telephoto is very useful in certain cases like portrait photos, for example. So it's not really a very big downgrade. Talking about the camera setup, you have got a 200MP main camera, 10MP 3x telephoto, 50MP 5x telephoto, 12MP ultra-wide camera and a 12 megapixel selfie camera. Indeed, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra is a very good phone, but if you don't want a titanium body, if you like curved display, and if you don't mind about the 7-year software upgrade policy, then you can also consider the S23 Ultra. And also you have got the anti-glare display in the S24 Ultra. That's kind of good. It works absolutely fine for certain conditions. In this segment, we'll talk about other changes made by Samsung this year. You have got the Exynos 2400 in the S24 and the S24 Plus. Honestly, Samsung has worked on the Exynos chipset series, and this phone, the S24 and the S24 Plus, externally didn't get as hot as the S21. Very big shout out to that. And talking about the 7 years software policy, I would like to talk about my problem and that I'm facing. This is the Samsung Galaxy S8, and I have been looking for a battery and a display for this phone. Also, the home button is missing. I have called up all the Samsung stores in my city and the battery is not available. In fact, the phone is not serviceable at the moment. Simultaneously, I have an iPhone 8 in my home. I recently changed the battery and I asked the Apple concerned person, and they told they had batteries and displays available for the iPhone 6s. If Samsung is really hard on the 7-year software policy, they have to also have the parts available for the device. You have got 7 years of software update available for all the phones across the S24 series. And talking about the Exynos 2400, Samsung should have actually bought the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 inside the S24 and the S24 Plus, because the 8 Gen 3 is available inside the S24 and the S24 Plus in US and in other countries except Europe and India, because the Exynos chipsets have not had very good reputation amongst the Indian market. If you are buying the Samsung Galaxy S24 series for the Galaxy AI, wait for a minute, because the Galaxy AI is also available in the S23 series and the S23 FE. So all the features are available in the S23. I have also updated my phone to the latest One UI 6.1. Another point to keep in mind is the Galaxy AI is free for just 1 year of usage, and you will have to pay after a year or so. About other features, Samsung could have also bought the titanium frame and the anti-glare display to the S24 and the S24 Plus. By that way, Samsung could have attracted more users towards the S24 and S24 Plus. Samsung should change their design in the S24, S25 series, because Samsung is taking the path of Apple by not changing the design for over 4 years. In this year's Samsung Galaxy S24 series, there are no major changes. So if you are on a S20 or below phones, you can probably consider the S24 series. And that's it about the video, and thank you for watching. Meet you in the next video. Bye.